color? If so, what differs it from other colors that are not black or white? What associations do we have regarding the color gray? If we associate gray as symbolizing neutrality and breaking the dichotomy between black and white, won't other colors do more justice in representing the space of this gray area? And I think you know where I'm heading with this flag. Yes, I'm about to give you a glimpse of my mind, a mind that cradles my own understanding of a world that is colorful but is challenged by another full of dullness. A world that is diverse but is challenged by another, abundant of stereotypes and notions. Yes, you are about to enter a place you're told you're not supposed to explore. And yes, you're about to listen to a story that might be quite different from yours. But this story does not mean it is not valid. Then would you say yes to learning what lies beyond the stereotypical man and stereotypical woman, and listening to my gendered experiences? If so, then I must carry on. But before anything, I am not an expert on gender. My knowledge on the subject matter is quite limited. However, the good news is I live it. I wake up every morning somehow dreading to go to public places. Well, some stare at me with that puzzled look, wondering perhaps if I'm a man, a butch lesbian, or just an androgynous-looking fellow. Others call me sir at first. Then, when they realize that I might not be one, they hastily retract it with a ma'am. There was a time, I remember, I was buying in a convenience store. And the cashier was like, "Sir, ano po yun, ma'am?" Funny, but awful. I also recall, during a morning walk, a security guard would say, "Good morning, ma'am, good morning, sir," to people in front of me in a line. When it was my turn, she was not so sure, so she just said, "Good morning po." Polite, but still awful. Oh, are you also now confused? What am I? Well, I'm a transgender man, trans man. The simple explanation is that I was born female, I was raised to be a girl, I attended an exclusive for girls school for 13 years. But ever since I could remember, I would dream of myself as a boy, a man who would someday love a woman, be the person who I want to be and not just be who others expect me to be. I know from the very moment that I had a grasp of this world that I hope, I am, and hoping that others could also see me as a man. I constantly wish that when I come out to people and say, I'm trans, or simply, I'm a man, they could take me seriously and not just ridicule me. Some stories of trans are similar to the notion of a man trapped in a woman's body, or a woman trapped in a man's body. But this is not the only narrative of transgender people. Like cisgender individuals, we too have our unique stories and we have our own narratives of living as transgender. You might be wondering at this point, if I'm trans, if I'm a man, why do I still look and maybe sound like a woman who dresses just like a stereotypical man? This is not new to me. I met someone who I thought was considerate enough to understand because she is part of the LGBT community. So I said to her, I'm trans. And she goes like, what? Then you take hormones. And I said, no, because it's not required. And she stared at me, looked at me and said, no, because if you're trans, then you take hormones and then later on opt for surgery. I was taken aback. I don't know what to say. But as a reply, I said, you know, coming out as trans is not just about medically transitioning. You have what you call social transitioning. She was not convinced. She looked at me as if I was lying. And thank God, we never saw each other again. So again, if you didn't get that, I socially transition. Socially transition. But this does not make me less of a trans or even less of a man. Gender is complex. Is that why people avoid it? Is that the reason why people despise it? Is that what makes people freak out when they talk about it? Is that what brings them on their toes when they hear it? Is that why people simplify this very complex discussion into two concepts, man and woman? And mind you, these two concepts are further simplified by ascribing things, clothing, color preferences, education, jobs, careers, chores, songs, toys, bags, jewelry, watches, bath products, facial products, attitudes, outlook, behavior, life choices, words, habits, gestures, mannerisms, etiquettes, etc. to a man and a woman, thus creating a strong and seemingly factual notions of a man and a woman. When I came out as trans, I was strong-willed to break these stereotypes. I wanted people to broaden their notions of man and woman. So partly, this is the reason why I do not consider medically transitioning. Perhaps for now. I said, this battle is way beyond me. And my struggle spills over the struggles of others to be part of a society which is not accepting of those who lie beyond the stereotypical man and stereotypical woman. I was thinking, if I give in, then I give in to being a stereotypical man. I want others to see that there are different ways of being who you are. That you could be both masculine and feminine at the same time, wearing clothes that you're comfortable with, going to places without that dread that people might call you a fake. That it is possible for a man to be born female, that it is possible for a woman to be born male, that a man can love another man, and a woman for another woman. That there are those who don't identify as man or woman, that there are those who are attracted to people regardless of sex and gender. That people have different preferences and choices. That transgender are not delusional. Homosexuals are not sexual deviants. And that gender is fluid and not cast in stone. But as I live my life as a trans, I was slowly exposed to a dilemma, a social reality, a battle between personal and societal. I wanted people to understand that in spite of my female features, I am still a man. In my workplace, for instance, I have this constant struggle of proving to others that I am a man and I prefer male pronouns and titles. But in doing so, there are days where I succumb to stereotypes and gender biases to belong and to show that, hey, I'm manly too, you know. It's awful. Really terrible. In order to achieve personal comfort for myself, I had to join the bandwagon of their brand of masculinity, and that I had to avoid showing any signs of weakness and femininity. It's awful, and it feels like I betrayed myself and all that I fight for. However, as I become conscious again and regain my sanity, I try to resist the culture and system. I try to educate them and let them understand that men can be feminine. Women are not second-class beings. Femininity is not tantamount to being weak. Feminine men are not always gays. And lesbians are not always masculine or have short hairs. That we should not make fun of gays because they too are humans. And what makes them less of humans if they like guys? But the struggle is real. Trying to solve the problem of how to not be a defeatist while avoiding alienation and rejection from others. I am successful at times, but at some points I also fail. I realize you can't expect someone who has been formed to see the world as a world only for male-born men and female-born female who follow gender norms to be able to understand and grasp these notions, these strange notions of gender. It needs constant relearning of things that they are so familiar with that they think it is law and cast in stone. The challenge is to keep on trying, right? Though difficult, it's always worth the try, isn't it? Frustrating sometimes, but rewarding when you see changes. On the other hand, I also realize it's not just our burden as gender advocates to break stereotypes and teach them and teach others that gender is not black and white. It's always a two-way street. You, on the other hand, yes, you, those who think gender is simple, gender is a done deal, and that gender issues are not as important as salary issues, health concerns, education, peace, security, economic development, etc., to also share the burden of making this world a society for all humankind. A society where whoever you may be and whoever you may love, people are not boxed to certain expectations and notions of how to live their lives and how to be themselves. As we help you understand our struggle, we also expect you to do your share and reconsider your biases which manifest in discrimination and unequal treatment of others. We were taught that we were born either male or female, which automatically makes us man or woman. But what if these seemingly factual notions are not always the case? What if there are those born both female and male? What if there are those born female but grow up being a man? What if a woman falls in love with a transgender woman? What if a boy loves dolls but is not gay? What if a person is neither man nor woman? These are not what-ifs anymore or counterfactual. These are realities. Realities we cannot discredit just because we don't understand them, we don't experience them, or simply because we are taught not to entertain such thinking. If we are truly looking at what lies beyond black and white, then we should be looking at a wide array of possibilities and exploring them with an open heart. It's not just about looking into what we already know and trying to reinforce them. Exploring the gray area, or what I would prefer as the colorful area, is daring to go beyond what we already know and what we think are facts of life that cannot be altered. As humans, we fear. We have this fear of the unknown. As the song goes, we don't like what we don't understand. In fact, it scares us. I think the challenge for us is to try to know the unknown and to convert our fear into love. As I end this simple talk, I want to leave you with this beautiful lyrics of a song that you may know. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. Your true colors are beautiful, like a rainbow. Salamat at mabuhay po tayo.